I've literally walked from this place, and your artwork is so spectacular. I mean, it's one of a kind. I'm literally wondering how you used thread to make somebody's head, somebody's eye, somebody's nose. But before we get into that, right? What made you apply for this residency program?
Okay. Well, I saw the open call, and it only includes people who have participated in Live University art competition before. So that alone was already a signal that I'm qualified to apply for it. But also, I needed to step out of my comfort zone. I needed something that would challenge me. So I saw that as an opportunity to explore because the residency provides all the resources you need to produce works. And this residency was actually a place where I was able to do my biggest art piece yet because of the availability of resources, and I had all the time I needed to work. So growth, let me just put it like that. Growth, specific type of growth.
Interesting. So how do you feel now? Because I can see sold in most of your artwork.
I feel I feel on top of the world. I feel like it's beginning to make sense now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. So how would you describe your artistic journey before coming here?
Okay. um, it's a long story, and it won't make any sense if I don't uh, connect it back to my childhood. I had a very rough childhood from the family background, and then I was a victim of bullying for years as a kid.
Really?
Bullied by my peers, both in school and in my area where I live. And that's affected my self-esteem to a great extent, which forced me into solitude. And I was this kid that nobody usually sees around, so I have a linear way of living my life from school to home, from home to school. And when I'm at home, I spend most of my time alone in the room. And for somebody that spends time alone, even though you are alone, you still need some form of company, something to keep you engaged and busy. That's when I laid my hands on art. So I would say that was what helped me discover art. I think that was what made me remain an artist because we used to say that every child is an artist, but those that survive are those ones that did not let go of the pencil. So I guess that situation helped me stick to the pencil. So I draw most of them when I'm alone, and that was the only way my feelings would find expression because I didn't really have many people to tell what I was going through at that time. So I was mostly a quiet kid. People do complain, well, why am I always alone? What am I doing? Why don't I play with other kids? I know I'm always insecure around them because one way or the other, someone will pick on me. But later on, I realized that art was later what gave me relevance. Even among my peers, those who discarded me, those who treated me like an outcast. In school, then I came from a very small community, so people could tell. A lot of people knew that time that okay, that's that boy that can draw. And I began to look special to everybody. I was in primary two. They would call me to come to primary five to come and draw for them. Or the teacher would force everybody to stand up and give me a round of applause. And I started feeling good about myself. And whenever I create drawings, I have this weird way of doing it. I sit down in my sitting room that time and I will arrange my drawings around. Sit down in the middle and I will be feeling like a god. These are my creations.
I mean,
made this. So the same esteem started coming back to me. So I felt like this could be my own thing. This is my own voice. So art has been a part of this because anywhere they are talking about art, I always have something to say and I never feel small in any space where art is involved. So that was how the whole thing started.
interesting, right? This artwork behind you, you're going to describe it for me. But before then, what were your expectations coming into this residency, and did the reality match them?
Wow, I have been saying it since the day one. But, I didn't expect up to 10% of what is happening right now. Because I just thought I would come in for a residency, produce some works, and the resources were there free of charge because Limcaf provided everything from the accommodation to the feeding to the materials to the work. So I have absolutely no excuse. So I just kept on producing the work. So, but then coming here to this event, the exhibition was mind blowing. I didn't expect most of the things that actually happened. In fact, more than half of the whole exhibition sold out on the first
I
day.
mean,
It really feels that all the years of practice are finally, like I said, they are making sense. Making sense.
that's great. So, how has the environment here influenced your creativity? I mean, aside your artwork like exhibition, I'm sure you've seen other artworks, right? So, how has the environment influenced your creativity?
Okay. First of all, I've always been, throughout all my years of practice, I've always been the one that provides all the things I used to work. So even when you are thinking of what to create, you're also thinking of how to get the resources to create. So there's always this conflict of thoughts. How will I get the materials? And even while you're working, how will I get, you have to worry about food to eat because there's points to work you get to, and then your brain will not because there's no food. So you have to figure out a lot of things on your own. But when Limcaf provided all the resources, it gave me enough time to reflect, to think and reflect. And this works you see here, I think are my deepest so far. Because this year, coming from the kind of background I came from, I've had this struggle with identity. So the theme of the exhibition, I came up with this theme about how history and memory affects identity. The memories you have about yourself while growing up and the history you know about your past and the people that came before you, how it affects your self-image as a person. So going through these works helped me get some answers to that question. Before I came out of residency, I think I know a few things, a little bit about who I am. We are always discovering ourselves every day.
All right. So let's talk about your artwork now, especially this thread. It's very spectacular, and I don't know. Should I say I'm blown away, right? I know maybe there could be a point whereby mistakes might have happened to this thread because I can't really fathom from one point to another, right? At what point did you decide that I want to use thread to do something very unique?
Okay. First of all, the first question is about this piece, and the second one is about at what point did I decide to start using thread. So the first one, this piece in particular was actually the first time I was doing this size.
Okay.
I've never done this is 6 by 6 feet. So, I didn't know what I was getting into when I sent the size to Limcaf that okay, I'll be doing something like this. And it was when I started, I saw the frustration. When you are working with the most frustrating part is the threads, I don't tie them as I go, I just hang them on the nose and hang them until I only tie when I'm done. When you don't hang up until the story is done. Yeah. So I only tie the thread when I'm done. So at some point, the thread can snap or loose from the nail. And when one loses, 15 others, 20, 30 of it can follow. So I have to retrace my step, and that's the most frustrating part of it. And this one is so big, I have to, it's even taller than me where I was hanging. So I have to try and reach up and catch the. So it was really stressful. When I was done with it, I had to take a whole day to sleep because I was having money pain.
How many days did it take you to finish this?
This one took a week.
Wow.
It was the first time I was doing it. But when I went into the second one of that same size, I became familiar with how to handle it. Because one thing is, on the space of the canvas teaches you a lot about life and you might even read from books. In the process of creation, you get to learn a lot of things. I learned a lot and it became easy afterwards.
Interesting. Now, back to the next question.
Next question.
At what point did you decide to
Use thread.
explore? Yes. Great.
Just started from school. I finished from AB Design. I studied fine arts. I majored in painting. So I noticed whenever I work with paints, oil colors, it strokes my I've been wondering, is this how I'll continue? I want to do this thing for the rest of my life, but this is giving me signals that in the next 5 years I might shut down if it continues like this. So I don't want to stop practicing art. And then you think of what material I can use now to produce my art that is more friendly to my health. And when we saw the idea of thread is an ancient material, it's a timeless material. It has been here with us from the days when men started clothing themselves. And it has never harmed anybody since then. I feel like it's going to be the safest material to use. Then the crisscross thread connects back to my story. When you move close, I use it to present a way to actually look at life itself. A perspective that I feel like people should use to look at life. When you get too close to the wall, all you see is waves of entanglement, confusion, and chaos, right? You don't really identify what is there. It looks abstract. It looks, in fact, more confusing than abstract. When you step back, you see the farther you go, and the image begins to come together and make sense to you. So I realized that most of the time, that's how we human beings tend to look at life. We look at life too closely that all we see is the pains, the scars, the hardships that we have gone through. And from that perspective, we don't tend to appreciate life very well. But when we step back and look at everything as a whole, we realize those things that gave us scars, those things that broke us, are actually things that shape us to give us the image of the person we are today. So those traits represent different paths that you have to go through to get to where you are today, to become the person you are today. And if those paths had been different, you have been a different person. So I offer a different perspective for people to look at life itself. So literally the work is, this is how people are supposed to engage with the work. I want them to look at it and make it. Art for me is not just a practice. It's not just something you look at and admire. It's therapy, but it was therapy for me.
Yeah, impressive. Now I want to ask you, do you sketch first before using the thread, or you just let the thread guide you through whatever that's on your mind to create?
Okay, like 1,000 people have asked me that question already. I don't sketch on the canvas.
Okay.
Yes, I have my reference, I have my initial sketch, preliminary sketches. But then when I'm about to work here, drawing, when you are making arts, part of the element of art is lines. When you are sketching, you are drawing a lot of lines. You look at this work, what do you see? Lines. So the thread as well can serve as the lines. So this is me sketching, this is me drawing, this is me painting. Thread.
Alright, so what is the most challenging part of working with thread?
Okay.
Does someone need to be patient? Do you need to have vision? I don't know, because you said you have to, you work with the nails, and there are times where it slips out and 15 other threads follow suit, right? So what are the challenges? And would you say that you need enough patience to make sure the art comes out as perfect as you want it?
Yes, you need a lot of patience because you are going to get frustrated along the way. But I think the most challenging part of it, that's already behind me. I think I experienced my biggest challenge when I was producing my 2021 piece, Hygiene Resilience, the piece at the entrance. That was the piece that won the Limcaf award. It was my most challenging piece because I created it in a very in local environment. It was under the COVID-19 lockdown, so I was at the village. So sourcing for all the tools to use was not easy. In fact, I had to cut a perfect circle with a handsaw.
Okay.
And then I had to use my hand to hold the nails and hammer it. So many times my hands even bled while I was making the handle. So I improvised. It was like Iron Man creating his first suit from a cave. So I improvised all the materials I used, and luckily the artwork ended up winning an award that year. And I think the title just fits it perfectly, singing, because even the story of the creation of the artwork shows a lot of resilience. So that was the challenge that happens most of the time. When you are working, thread is a very fragile material. It snaps along the way sometimes. pressure is too much. Checkers now they look screen and be looking for the steps that you have missed. Another situation is there was a piece I produced where I really saw the power of this piece, the staff. Because I think we learn as we are producing. The thread alone, one strand of thread is very fragile. You can just break it and throw it away. Then one day I decided to challenge myself to take it. Most of this what you see are within 6,000 to 9,000 loops of thread. One day I decided to take it a bit further to like 12,000. And by the time I got to that point, the wood that I use as my support started folding up. The thread fold the wood. Then I remember something that Prof. Elanasu said in one of his interviews that when you bring things together, their power begins to grow. And to even think of something like as fragile as thread. So that shows me the power in multitudes. When no matter how insignificant the people are in person, as the minorities now. But when we gather and decide to speak one voice and say something, systems must listen, structures must bow, organizations, the leaders will hear. And which is a sense that I feel like everybody should develop. People don't take action, people don't act because they do. And it's just only me. If I shout it tomorrow, nobody will listen. But if all of us can have that, what's this? I don't know the word to put to it. Bees do it, bees. Birds, they do it. Ants, they do it. They have this, they don't, even though they are one man, but they move as one, all of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we human beings, if we can have that attitude towards like to have control over so many things, the world would have been a better place than it is right now. Bend a lot of things. We bend systems that don't want to bend to our will, we be bent to our will.
Yeah.
Even though we are just tiny and so fragile.
Yeah.
So I learned that in the process of creating an artwork. So those are part of it. It was a challenge, but it was a significant challenge because it revealed something to me.
All right, Shego, I mean, before I let you go, I have a few more questions to ask you. How many years have you been creating artworks with thread?
Okay. From the time I started researching, researching and trying to figure out how to work till the time I produced my first piece till now. It's 7 years now.
Wow.
Yes.
7 good years. Impressive. Now, how do you want people to, feel whenever they see your projects and your artwork?
Okay. Like I said earlier, I offer a perspective with my work, how I want people to see life itself. First of all, I don't want people to just come and appreciate the artwork as an artwork. I want them to come and be healed. I'm sounding like a pastor now.
And a therapist.
So, because art for me was therapy.
Okay.
And if it could do that for me, it was what brought me out of my dark place. And if it could do that for me, I believe it can do that for other people. Because I believe there are a lot of people going through the same things also. We all had our dark times, we had backgrounds that we may not be really proud of, and these things are affecting our identity, keeping us small. So like I said, I want to use my work to urge people not to look at life too closely, not to look at the intricacies, because the only things we are going to see is chaos, confusions, and the things we don't like about life. When we step back, we are going to realize that these are actually the things that gave our life form, what gave our life meaning. So basically what I want people to see when they look at my work is that they should be able to identify an alignment in their encampment.
Impressive. Have you ever thought of maybe teaching young people, other artists, how to use thread to create something very good?
Like I told somebody before, now there's a difference between learning how to do something and learning how to teach something. Because I've learned how to do this, but right now I'm still learning how to teach it. Yes. And when we get to that bridge.
We're gonna cross it. Alright, we're gonna do I call it exhibition now? Or description of your artwork. Right? I know you've not really explained this one behind you. So you're gonna explain them one after the other. Alright, Chingu, what did you call this?
Okay, the title of this is Babies Raising Babies. You know, identify very well. I already told you how to look at my phone.
You have to go very far.
You are going to see entanglement,
Yeah.
chaos, right? When you step back, you identify a little boy. I'm sure the camera will get it. Identify a little boy holding a baby. So I titled it Babies Raising Babies. So I'm using it to question the system of modern day influence.
Okay.
From parenthood to also the people that influences our new generation. A lot of people have the responsibility to influence the younger generation who are not even mature enough to capture their own subjects. So I ask myself, evolution is supposed to take a step forward, right? The next generation is supposed to be better than the previous generation. But then when we have people who are not competent enough to handle that, to influence the younger generation, does the evolution take a step forward or backwards? So that's the question. This is the question. I'm not holding an opinion yet, but asking an open question.
Yeah.
What do you think? What is going on? What we're seeing? Do you think the next generation will be better than the previous? That's what this represents. So babies raising babies.
Alright, now this one,
Now,
I don't think I'm seeing anything else.
actually see
But I'm seeing something here.
there's a little boy over here, and then there is an elderly man. An elderly man here. He's speaking on the boy, and from his mouth there is a spiral, a wave of sound coming out from his mouth. And below there, there's an exchange going on between the both of them. So I title this piece Transference. Transference, me, my father, and his father before him. That's the full title of the work. So this examines the idea of transgenerational inheritance. And it's not just about property inheritance as we know it, but it's also value inheritance. Because I believe memory, like I said, my work is about memory, how memory and history affects identity, right? And memory is not just in the brain, memory is also in the blood. The DNA remembers. That's why when your parents gave birth to us, when our parents gave birth to us, we tend to have certain qualities that they used to have. Some of their traits, behavior, their looks, right? That means there's something in the body that remembers how your father looked like and made you look like him also. So memory is not just in the brain, it's in the DNA, it's in the blood. So if memory is in blood, now it's a question of responsibility now. We should invest in ourselves, to take care of ourselves, we should define values in ourselves. Because whatever you carry now, part of it will be deposited in your children. And some of it might be a blessing, and it might be a curse. I see people living nonchalant life, nonchalant attitude, thinking, my life is just my own. But your life is not just your own alone, right? Your life, part of your life will be forced and given to your children, whether it's good or bad, whether they know anything about it or they don't know anything about it. So this one is in two parts. This one is transference, me, my father, and his father before him. And this one is me, my mother, and her mother before her. Okay. So they are the same idea, but I'm looking at it from the both perspective.
Yes.
The yin and the yang.
Interesting. I'm actually very interested in this particular art. I'm seeing an eye.
Yes. Yes. So this is titled Aya. Even for an eye. So I learned that word here in residency while I was here.
Okay.
So in my own way here now, I'm trying to use eye to depict eye as a symbol for true identity. Because no matter how much, it doesn't just carry your own personal identity or personal truth. It's like when you look into somebody's eye, you can read the experience, the path, the journey of that person's living just through the eyes. No matter how much you try to hide your face, try to hide your mask your true feeling with a smile, hide what's going on in your mind. One thing is the eyes still give you. You can tell from different. You can tell somebody who is faking a smile, but when you give this smile, by just looking into the eyes. So the eye is the symbol of true identity.
I'm finding
past and present. Okay? When you look not closely, if you look closely, you won't see anything. When you step back and look away from this, you see a young lady, and surrounded by flowers. That's flower is to represent the blossoming of the youth. Then below is another mouth that seems to have been cut out of her mouth. Yes, which is below there. So I use it to represent two voices. A voice from the past and a voice from the present. And those are two things that tend to influence us. We are influenced by things that we see right in front of us, also by things that we are experiencing in the past. And there's always a conflict between these two. Which identity do I want to stick to? I stick to where I'm coming from, or I stick to that ideas that I discover now. Yeah. So there was a point in my life, all these are personal reflection of stages that I've been through. There was a point in my life where I had this issue, right? Maintain a balance between where I'm coming from, the kind of person I'm becoming.
I want to ask a very important question. If one friend comes from this now, is everything destroyed?
Why are you interested in
I want to make reference that one friend just maybe gets off the nails, 15 other friends.
It's a question of intention. If you press against this, if your intention has brought all the traits together and made them whole as one, it is stronger than the clothes you are wearing right now. When I tried to, there was the time I tried to destroy one of my keys, the one that had been folded. Even the scissors was really very hard job trying to cut it, which is have cut an ordinary fabric. Yeah. So, an ordinary artwork that is not made of thread, any artwork, you have the intention of destroying it, destroy it, no matter what, right? So, it's a matter of intention. The keys I created in 2021 is still very much hard over there, and it's not going to it. Right? So, unless somebody has the intention of pulling this thread apart, nothing is going to happen. So, yes.
All right. Hi, Pearl.
Hello, Queen.
You know, I feel very proud. I'm a woman.
Okay.
So seeing women create things that are really mind-blowing makes me feel so. I'm proud of the generation I'm in.
Thank you very much. Seriously, I'm blown away. Thank you.
Exactly. So let's talk about the whole residency. Why the residency program? Why exactly did you decide to come for it?
Actually, I saw the open call, and I'm this kind of a person. I love traveling a lot.
Okay.
So I actually didn't think about the part of working. I want to explore. I haven't been to Enugu before, so I just took the opportunity as like, okay, hell, this is the time for you to visit Enugu and know what Enugu is like, something like that. So, and at the same time, I will be able to practice without even thinking about how to spend money for my feeding, for my tea fare, like that. So since Limcaf is doing all that, so it's also an opportunity for me.
Impressive. So why did you choose wood as instead of painting, right? Or did you start with painting?
No, I don't like painting.
Don't
I
like
always
painting?
fail that while in school.
Okay.
I don't like it.
What did you study exactly?
Textile.
Oh, textile.
It's fine and apply that, but I specialize in textile.
Impressive. So why did you choose wool? I mean, this artwork behind you right now, it's beautiful.
Thank you
right?
very much. Thank you.
It looks like if someone didn't really look closely, they would know that wool was used to shape.
Sure, many people used to say that.
Yeah. So why did you choose wool?
You know, actually, I had a rough background, like a rough childhood while growing up, something like that.
Is it a thing for artists?
Like seriously, even this life itself, it's hard, it's rough, one kind. But the thing is, this kind of a soft person at the same time. So I love something that is soft, that is succulent, something like that, and that was the reason I chose wood.
Okay.
I'm not good at painting. I don't want to use the word it because you know when in school when you are all your mates they are A, B, and you G. The first one G, the second one G.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this is not my calling. So let me just go to textile. But the thing is, I actually love Then I remember while in school they called me Ladikwali.
What
So
does
I
that
love
mean?
You don't know that Ladikwali? I don't know the Naira notes. though. There's a woman using
Oh, yeah,
clay.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that
yeah.
woman there. So they normally call me that. You know when you went and buy bonds, I will buy bonds because I need a nylon. So I will now use the nylon to be smoothing that clay. This I don't know if you are familiar with the big pen.
Yeah.
Yes, the cover. You know it's smooth. I will now use it for the on the clay. Like it will be smooth like. Well, when
Like
I
perfection.
Yes, perfection. Wow, I love that word. And when I now think of it, we are in Nigeria. I'm a lady. But we have so many ladies that actually specialize in that too. But me, I'm soft. I don't think I can pass through all that thing.
Yeah.
So what can you do? So that was when I now chose textile.
Okay.
Then I was in part 3. We had to specialize. So I actually run. You know this, I ran into textile. But I remember my lecturer telling me then that, thank God you chose textile. If not, let's say you choose ceramics and textile, I will not allow you to go into textile. I will just drag you to the ceramics. But I chose textile. So because of the wood, that softness. So I love it.
Alright, so what story does your art tell that traditional materials like paint?
Okay. One thing about wool is they've been using thread for a very, very long time. So, and when it comes to paint, I heard people saying a lot about paint, that the chemicals in it. I mean, since I'm not good with paint, so let me go for what I'm good at. I can sew. I remember sewing a full clothes. I started around after 5 in the morning, and it lasted till 7 in the night with needle and thread. So after detecting that, like this is actually my way, so let me just venture into this thread thing.
Alright, so do you dye your wool yourself or you just buy them?
No, I buy different colors.
Wow.
I buy different colors. There's this customer I have, so he knows immediately I get there, okay, auntie, what color of wool do you need this time? So I just pick the ones I need.
So what impact has residency program actually played in your life as an artist?
I'm this kind of a person that I work at my pace. I can sleep. I don't like food though. Me, I'm not this kind of eating type. Or when it comes to sleep, I can sleep from 7 to 7. I don't joke with my sleep. You know I'm sleep, something like that. So, so when it comes to this residency, I have to like train myself.
Okay.
You understand? And apart from that, I haven't worked with this size before.
Oh really?
Yes, this is my this 3x4 is my last piece, and I've not even finished the work on it, so I don't know how it will go. But with this, I'm happy. But this is my first 4x5 work. It was not easy. It wasn't easy. I had to like my other resident artists had to assist me. We had to place the work down. So I was passing the wool to him. He was passing the needle back. So it was not easy because my hand couldn't reach the middle since it's not that long.
Yeah.
So it was tough.
So that means creating this kind of artwork, you need assistance of other
Sure.
How long did it take you to make this piece?
I can't say, based on the fact that I was creating the 4 works together.
Okay.
So if I'm creating this and maybe I'm tired of this, let me just pick another. So I will just pick another. Maybe I just wake up this morning, let me just start with this. So when it's normally, if I want to do this kind of size, maybe it will take like 3 to 4 weeks.
Really?
Yes, 3 to 4 weeks.
Interesting. So like I want to know, are there challenges that come to creating this kind of artwork?
Yes. The first thing is you have to. I'm this kind of person. I love to draw. You understand? I love to draw. But at the same time, you cannot. There's no how you can do all the drawings at once. So what I normally do is, if I'm working on this part, I draw this part, finish it with wool before moving to another part. Because if you decide to draw all the way something at once, the pen will continue fading. So you have to start all over again. You understand? Tracing the drawing all over again. Apart from that, when I walk, I don't walk to the edge because it's like the wood there, that stretcher will be inconveniencing you. So there's no way I can walk to this edge. So what I normally do is I'll walk in. When I finish walking, I will now take it back to the carpenter. So they will now remove it again, cut it to the size I want so that the wood can be here at the edge. So instead of leaving those
I can actually see shadows on this art.
Yes.
Right? Now, did that idea come to your mind before creating the artwork or while you're using it?
The thing is, you know, as we are sitting now, when you look down, we see lots of shadows because there are many here. I'm like, okay. So lots of shadows are on the ground. So that's why this is the foreground and that is the background up there. So their shadow is actually casting on the floor. So I have to use darker shade of brown instead of using the lighter shade.
Yeah. So how would you describe your journey as an artist so far?
It wasn't easy because I was teaching in a private school before. So then I met someone and the person said, do you want to be teaching for the rest of your life? So I had to sit down and think about that question. Like, it took me like months to think about that question. Hell, do you want to be a teacher for the rest of your life? Even though you went to education, but do you want to be a teacher for the rest of your life? Although I want to impart knowledge, but not kind of restricting me from Monday to Friday. No, I can't do that. Because one thing I will be thinking is, this time I'm here, I will be working. You understand?
Yeah.
So I just sat down and was like, okay, let me start with something. And I started with my portrait. But it was not easy. It was not easy combining my work, that my teaching job, with that my other work, with this work. It wasn't easy. Then, so it comes to a particular time that I had to just resign because my BP was dropping, my weight was dropping. So a nurse now told me then that if you don't want to die or kill yourself, you have to eat more. So I had to just drop my resignation letter and just focus on my work.
You feel pressure trying to describe your artwork?
I don't know, can you please?
You feel it like some kind of pressure when they tell you, describe this piece of art that you created?
No. Especially if you actually create the artwork based on maybe your background, your childhood, your life journey, something like that. So it's not so difficult for you to explain.
You know, I've heard most artists say art is therapeutic.
Yes.
You know, it has to do with emotions.
Would
you also say that?
Sure. The moment you start an artwork, you'll be like, where is this thing going to end? That's how it is, life in general. The moment you give birth to a child, you'll be like, what will this child become in the future? So that's how artwork is. So you are starting. Definitely you are going to have challenges. The child is going to have challenges in life. But the moment you finish the artwork and you look at the artwork, you feel like, yes, this is my work. This is my creation. That satisfaction, that happiness. Just as how you see your child grow up in the future and you see how successful, how like the child is, you'll be like, yes, this is my child. You'll be proud of the child. This is my child.
How long have you been doing this, using wood to create?
I started 2022.
Oh wow.
Yes,
so that's like 3 years
now.
And you're this good?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the compliment. Thanks.
So do you get your inspiration from past experience or it just comes to your head?
Are you talking about the artwork or you're talking about the material?
The artwork.
The artwork, yes, let me say is an innate, how will I put it now? Can you give me a word? Like something that is inside, is within you. Thank you. Something that like, it's just a feeling though, let me just put it like that. I'm this kind of a person. I started, that was when I was in, primary 4, we call it primary then, no grade. So primary 4, there, I was like, I just saw my mom's picture. Let me just draw this picture. Imagine drawing a picture with pen on an exercise book. I'm still having the picture though because you know this Facebook thing.
You still do?
Yes, I'm having the picture with me right now. So when I drew it and it was perfect, everybody was like, my my grandpa then was like, wow. So then I started using carton. You know when you go inside your mommy's shop, steal one carton, and you just use scissors and blade and cut it and make it different. So then, me and my mom, we used to fight a lot. Why are you destroying this thing or something like that? But my grandma, leave her alone. Let her do what she wants. So as time goes on, I just like, okay, this is my way. So when my mates are just going for this science course, me, I didn't even bother myself because I don't love biology. I don't like it. So let me just go for my art something, and I went art something.
Great. Let's describe this art. There's a name you called it earlier.
Okay.
I love sugar. I love sugar.
Yes, tales in the moonlight.
So why did you create this particular piece?
If you want me to start explaining from this, then that means I will start from the beginning.
Okay, there's a beginning part of the art
before it now comes to the last.
So that means each piece here right now has a story.
Yes.
Okay,
and
let's go
stories
to
bring it together.